All right, thanks for joining us, everyone. We got Coach John Dobson, Captain Ants van Rijn. Dobbo, if we can start with the team. There's 5 changes. We've got some players coming back, some new faces. So it'll be interesting to see how they go tomorrow night.
Yeah, the game against the Lions, we stayed up there after Loftus. Obviously, we had once we had a couple of injuries. We didn't have much choice about playing Timo fullback. It was the only backs we had left. I thought Paul de Vet was great when he came on. So nice to give him a start. He hasn't had many starts, with Herschel and over the last while. And then I think it's, I think Reinach is probably, or not probably, he is hooker number 9. Very pleased to have got him. He's got a guy with top 14 experience, and he's got experience, a lot of pro 14 rugby and super rugby as well. So we're lucky to get him in. I'm excited to see how he goes.
All right. And then, I suppose another factor this week has been the weather. How's that affected the preparations, and are you expecting it to have any influence on the game tomorrow night?
Yeah, I thought the surface today, we were pleasantly surprised by it. I think it's amazing how this facility is trained. It even feels maybe a little harder. I think at night would be a different proposition. But we deliberately trained in the sort of highest rainfall we could find to get ready for all the slipperiness we expect tomorrow night.
Ernst, first game for Western Province at Cape Town Stadium. I know it's been the 3rd game into the season, but that's obviously significant. You're going to be leading them out. So that's obviously a special occasion for everyone who's named in the team.
Yeah, I think it's going to be a great occasion. And yeah, like you say, it's an important day in history. First game for Western Province in the striped jersey at Cape Town Stadium. So I think everyone's excited, and hopefully we can start off with a bang and make some good memories as the first guys who had the privilege of wearing the jersey here.
And obviously, another thing, guys, is that we haven't had fans in the stands for 18 months. But with the lockdown this week, we know everyone's at home and everyone needs a pick me up. So it's obviously another motivation factor almost to play for the fans.
Yeah, I think for us definitely. I think we're very fortunate and thankful that our things haven't been affected too much at this stage. Because obviously, everyone's been working hard, but I think it is a tough time out there. There's a lot of people who are going to struggle in the next 2 weeks, but hopefully we can contain the pandemic or whatever, so everything can go closer to normal. But obviously, with the people at home and the fans at home, we want to make sure to be that sort of spark to give them a bit of hope and keep them in a positive mindset, although the circumstances are maybe a bit tough.
Cool. All right, guys. Questions for these two from your side?
Let me go ahead. Gavin Rich asked Sean Everett yesterday in terms of the amount of times you guys played against each other. Do you expect anything different from the Sharks? You guys have played against each other a few times already in the last couple of months.
We both our games in Currie Cup and Super Rugby Unlocked were postponed because of or cancelled because of COVID issues with the Sharks. So the first time we actually played them was in the semi-final. But you're right. And I don't think we didn't play them in preparation series. We played them, in the Rainbow Cup, home and away. That point is valid. The Sharks are, we know what the aerial threat's coming. We know how much they kick, how high there's the return of Kerwin Bosch. We know that the big contestables and open side contestables are coming. The Sharks' DNA is always to try and play nice rugby. That tends these days to be opposition mistakes. So we're going to have to be pretty good in the air and pretty good on the ground when those balls get spilled tomorrow to sort of stop them playing off that turnover ball. I can't see them, no team dramatically changing their DNA from, you did right. The last game was 3 weeks ago, I think. So I don't expect any significant changes.
Cool. And then the last one, this is for Ernst. The Lions played against the Japanese on last week's Saturday. Do you mind give us a review of your thoughts how the game went? Because obviously you guys will be playing against them in the coming weeks.
Yeah, I'll be honest. I was busy, but I did watch the highlights. I think it's obviously a big blow with Alan Jones getting injured. Because I think it would have been quite exciting to play against him or to have him here. I think they showed some promising signs. We'll see how they go next week. I think it's against the Lions in Joburg, and we're probably the last franchise playing them, so we'll have a bit of insight and a few games to look at to hopefully make sure we're well prepared when we get the opportunity to play them.
Hi Ernst. Ek hoop dit gaan goed daar met jou. Darby, just from my side, you mentioned Paul de Vet being great when he came on against the Lions. Can you give us a little bit more information what you think he did well? What made him great, and did he play a role in you guys getting back into the game?
I think. Sorry.
Yeah, and then there was just another question from me, just Reinach, in terms of his qualities as a hooker. What is it that appeals to you?
Okay. No, look, I think Paul he's been great. I don't know when we say all season. I'm not sure when the season starts, or when the season started, or when it's going to end. But he's been great since we got back onto the rugby field, and probably hasn't got the game time he deserves. For obviously Herschel is a national player. He's come on for 10 minutes in the wing in the Rainbow Cup. He came on with 10 minutes to go when we were trying to get Herschel some more game time. So he hasn't many opportunities. What I really like about Paul is, a couple of things. I think at the moment he's just not making wrong decisions in terms of clearing the ball. He's clearing it fast and in the right direction. He's obviously got massive X factor with his break and his speed. You can see that try he scored last week, or I think there was one try when he was on the wing at Loftus the week before. He was on the wing where he had a line break and a massive leg drive. So Paul fulfills a lot of things. I think he's really fast clearer. I actually think he's a really, really good scrum half. I think he's somebody who could go quite far in the game. At the moment, I think he's bringing speed to our game and making the right decisions, which is really nice. Also helps, as I say, that he can cover wing, so can Godwin to a degree. As regards Reinhard Venter, what we really needed was a set-piece hooker. A guy who can really scrum, who can really throw in well, which is what we've got. As I say, if you take out, for various reasons, there were 4 hookers that Marty's have played, all of which were someone contracted by us, but all keen on. They're all unavailable for various reasons, like Andre who could go into SM20, JJ Court's injured. There was one of the UWC starting hooker is injured. Orange, the UCT starting hooker, is injured, and of course we got Chad Solomon is injured, and of course Bongi and Skara at the national. So to have somebody at the national camp, so to have somebody of his quality is fantastic for us as Reinhard. But I think if you've seen him, you'll realize he's a set-piece hooker. His nickname's Geezer. He's not called Geezer because he makes line breaks all over the field. He does a lot of the work in the engine room. So we're just pleased to have a guy who's a really good technician, because the scrum is important to us. And I think we sort of fell away a bit at Ellis Park in the scrum, so hopefully he can shore that up a bit.
John, Janja, it's been a while since you played a proper winters game. I mean, you've been playing summer rugby for. Give us, maybe Ernst as well, just give us an insight into playing. I know you spoke about the surface and the conditions, but it's very different playing when it's pouring down like this.
Yeah, I think it's true what you say. It's been quite a while. Playing in the summer and stuff was definitely different. But I think it's the normal Cape Town winter. I think a lot of the guys grew up with this weather and playing in this weather, and a lot of guys have been at the union. So this was normally your time when you played. And also I think a lot of the guys who've toured a bit, like Reinach, who's in Pro 14, obviously they'll know this weather. Some guys on the Australia and New Zealand tours in Super Rugby will also have had tough weather. But I think for us, obviously when it gets wet, and if it is quite wet and messy tomorrow, we want to try and embrace that mess. We want to get the best out of that. I think it's going to be a massively important set piece, and that's something we really want to pride ourselves. We didn't feel we were at our best last week against the Lions, so we want to fix that, make sure our set piece is good and solid, and then I think from there just basics, and most importantly, I think with the wet weather, you want to be playing in the right areas. Sharks are good to take the opportunities, so we just want to make sure when it's wet that we play at our pace and in the right areas.
Guys, Daba, just Aaron's talking about playing with pace. We saw yesterday how the baby box played in mud, literally in scoring 6 tries. If you look at your loose trio, Achieva, Evan, and Marcel, it's quite a pacey loose trio. Obviously, the weather doesn't fit their kind of play, but are you guys still hoping to play that fast upper game, or do you have to adapt?
Yeah, we're going to have to adapt a bit if it's like we think it's going to be. But the pace, I think those loose forwards have brought. Obviously, Achiever's pretty new, but you were seeing with Marcel, Johan, we put quite a bit of pace into our game, especially, and that's largely driven by the loose forwards. But I think where their pace tomorrow is going to be important is more about putting pressure on the Sharks. And more about them getting back to help us with when we handle the contestables and things like that. I think that's where the pace is important. I don't think we can expect that sort of the conditions is going to make it harder to us to really play a high pace game throughout. That's why Ern said the set piece is going to be very important to us. But I said their pace can contribute in other areas, whether that's getting to breakdowns, putting pressure on their kicks. We're going to have to really go forward and put the Sharks under pressure in these conditions. And get off the line and put their skill set under pressure, and that's where they'll be useful.
Cool, thanks.
Can I go?
Yes, you can, Gavin.
Okay, thanks. I'm used to having to put a hand up. Just Dobbo, sorry, I haven't actually been on a call for a while, so I just want to sort of update myself with reference to the British and Irish Lions game. How many guys are still coming back for that game? Like how much does this team that you have now differ from what you're going to have when you play them on, what is it, 17th?
Yeah, I think it's fair to say, Gav, that our team will look pretty different come that. We've got quite a few guys coming on strength, whether it's next week before the Big Quiz game or the week before the bubble. I'm not going to name it. I don't want to say all of them because I'm presuming they're playing, but obviously guys like Samar Marat, potentially some guys came out of the Springbok camp after the SAA game. Namaklaba's ready for Griquas, Dan Duplessis, Juan de Jong landed this weekend. So a couple of other guys returning from injury. So I think it's fair to say that there might be as many as about half the team will be different to what it is for tomorrow night. But tomorrow night's a nice opportunity for those guys who would be maybe in the marginalised half to show why they want to be part of such a prestigious game.
Is JD going to be back?
I beg your pardon, JD's definitely back for that game. Yeah, he's back for the Griquas game. We could have forced him tomorrow, but it's the rehab people said there's a high element of risk. Ernst misses him terribly, so he'll be back.
And just on that, when do you guys go into? I hear now that Sean told us yesterday that the bubble's now no longer 10 days like it was initially going to be. It's now 6. So you play Griquas and then you go into the bubble after that.
Yeah, we play Griquas next Wednesday. It's a weird week, I was talking to somebody yesterday, one of the staff, and I said, can't we just pick this up on Monday, because it was a day. Yesterday was like our Thursday. It was the day before the captain's practice. I think I looked at me like, mad. Why pick it up Monday? It's a week away. We're in this weird Wednesday games, So your Tuesday's your Friday, your Monday's your Thursday. But we play Griquas next Wednesday, and then the day one would be the Saturday where we'll get tested for the first time, then have to isolate at home for 48 hours. And on the Monday, you did right. That's when we'll go into the bubble.
Thanks.
Cool. Any other questions, guys?
Double, you mentioned John de Jong has arrived. Has he started training with the team yet? And will he be able to, get back in time to make to be able to play against the Patrician Lions?
Yeah, that's the plan, Nani. He hasn't trained with us yet. He had quite a few medicals to do yesterday. And today was just a captain's practice. So I think he's working with the NPS, the non-playing squad, this morning, with a view to him training. Today's Wednesday. With a view to him training properly with us on Friday and Saturday. So hopefully he gets, he's in the condition, he can get some rugby next week against Griquas, which will put him well into the frame for the Lions game.
Thank you.
Cool. We're done, guys.
Sorry, Mark, can I just ask one last question, please?
You can ask one last question, yes.
Just want to ask Dobber. Dobber, we know what Cyril said with the whole regulations and stricter regulations with COVID. Have you guys implemented harsher protocols for your squad?
No, we haven't. The truth is, we haven't changed any rules, but we're just being very strict. So we haven't depends what you define by protocol. We're in out. We're not meeting. We didn't meet before in the stadium. We're just trying to be really, really careful. There's not sort of protocols in terms of any dramatic change. I think that's going to come the week of the Lions game when we can train non-contact training. So we're training as usual, but just being much more clever with reducing meetings, reducing contact sessions in and out of the facilities, getting the guys home, working virtually. But it's more about our behaviors and and just to encourage the guys on a work home protocol, not work home, Tiger Valley, Dzalza, the Akka. Well, we can't go to the Akka anymore, but you know what I mean.
Cool. Happy with that,
Cool,
guys.
thanks, Dobber.
Right. I'll send out the post-match link tomorrow. And those of you who are coming, we'll see you then. Cheers.
Thank you.
Thanks a lot.
Cheers.
Thanks.